Hello, hello, friends. How is everybody this evening? Just looking for the chat window. Howdy, Carla. How are you today? Yes, indeed. I'm looking forward to the group creation today, too. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to show off the one from last week. I did finish that one. If you saw in the newsletter, I posted that as well. So excited for this. Hey, and oh my goodness, we've got all sorts of fun visitors today. Hey, Erin, how are you doing? From Nielsen Letters. If any of you aren't familiar with Erin of Nielsen Letters, she is a fantastic and amazing calligrapher as well. She is does a lot of pointed pen, magnificent work. So please go check out her site. She streams on Twitch as well, and check out all of her socials and stuff. Erin is absolutely awesome. So we were geeking out on streaming recently. So awesome to see you here. This is so exciting. Howdy, Carla and Leanne and Natalia. Great to see everyone back again this week. This is so awesome. I am super excited to have fun today. So, without further ado, to use my poor French, now I'm going to be extra paranoid because Erin also speaks French very well. So, she's in Montreal, Quebec, I believe. Quebec, I'm fairly certain. But glad to hear you're staying cool, Carla. Oh, cool! I'm gonna have to check out your post. I thought I saw someone post an alphabet with all sorts of cool practice sheets and colors and stuff like that. Was that yours? I would have remembered if the name was Carla, but it wasn't the name that I recognized. Or the account, the handle, the Instagram handle. Cool. And howdy, Yogi. How are you? Yes, looking forward to some more fun tonight. And Erin just said she is in Montreal. So yeah, definitely check out her stuff. She's absolutely fantastic. And just fantastic human being as well, as this entire community of friends is, calligraphy friends. So it sounds like everybody can see me and hear me. So I figured we could dive right into some fun this week. I'm excited because I got some new shelves next to my, it sounds like a ridiculous thing to be excited about, but I've got some new shelves or like drawers that let me organize my stuff better. So I've got a lot of supplies next to me, so I'm pretty excited. Awesome. So yeah, let's get cracking. I'm gonna switch over to the other camera, and then we'll dive in and start creating some fun. I've got the quotes already set up, so they're numbered, and I'm gonna just go while I switch over. I'll create a poll, and then you'll be able to see the quotes here in a second. Quote 1, quote 2. So I'm just gonna start the poll. We'll use our fancy technology. Quote 3, and then in a second you'll be able to see what they are as I swap cameras. But this way you'll be able to vote while I do the switcheroo. Thanks, Carla. It is good to be organized when possible. Looks like the quote's coming through now. So let's switch over. All right. So I thought we could be have a little bit of fun today too. So the quotes, which are all blurry right now, does anyone recognize number 1? I'd be really curious to hear if anybody can tell. Sorry, I'm gonna put my arm in the way for a sec. I'd be seriously curious if anyone recognizes number 1. So 1 and 2 are a little bit silly, and then number 3 is a more like inspirational, motivational quote. Oh yeah, I see. Aaron's already got it. Yeah, and Natalia as well. Harry Potter. So I figured based on my calculations, my calligraphy calculations, I thought that this would fit in the circle today. And so the second quote, if you can't read it or if you can't see it as well, I thought it was very funny when I stumbled on it in my little repository of quotes. And my Latin is terrible, so I don't speak Latin, but I believe it says like quid Latin dictum sit altum videtur. I'm sure I mispronounced that horribly. But basically that means anything said in Latin sounds profound, which I thought was pretty funny. So anyway, I cracked myself up like that. So And then the third one is the future depends on what you do today, which is more inspirational. I can tell that quote 1 is so far the favorite. I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. Yes, indeed, from Harry Potter, which I'm definitely a fan of. Definitely like the Harry Potter movies. All right, so we've got our quote selected, I believe. I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good. Yeah, I think maybe we'll do some more humorous stuff next week too. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, quote 1 is definitely the winner. So today I thought we would have. So we're gonna do Harry Potter. So today I thought we'd have some more fun on black paper again. So I'll zoom out so everybody can see. So I've got my black paper pad. It's just Strathmore Art Again paper, just fairly cost effective, and you can generally find it most art stores. And I thought we would go back to some metallics with the black paper. So I've got 3 that I picked out today: gold, silver, and copper. So let's set up one more quick poll and see who wants gold. I think we did gold a few weeks ago. And not to bias anybody, but the copper it's like a really cool reddish color. So let me know what colors that you want to pick, and while I start to draw. Okay, hopefully those are relatively centered. And I'll start to draw some circles to get started. My automatic pen just really wanted to roll into the frame. So how's everybody doing this evening? Everybody have a good weekend and week? I sincerely hope so. And you can probably hear me going through my drawers. The ruler gremlins from previous weeks. Okay, looks like I'm going to use my large metal one. I still need to organize things a little bit better apparently, but I've got my giant metal ruler. So let's see. Wow, so far copper is in the lead as far as the inks. Natalia's saying also too looks like a good candidate to misspelling. So I assume you say there may be a chance for misspellings. If I did the Latin one, absolutely for sure. I could almost guarantee I would probably spell something wrong along the way. So for anyone who's not familiar, this is a really cool pen or pencil. It's a mechanical pencil. It's actually, from what I understand, it's actually a fabric pencil. But I found that it works great for writing on black paper because you can draw lines and then they erase very easily afterwards, which is great. So they're not too permanent. So let's draw our diagonal lines. Be really curious to see which ink we're gonna go with this time. I figured with the black paper and potentially when I selected the options today, I figured the Harry Potter quote was a potential winner. So I thought that would be kind of fun. All right. So, and I can show, this is what we finished off last week. Oh, cool. I see Megan is saying that she's got one of these pencils. So here, by the way, is what we finished off last week. So everybody can see it again. If you saw if you got the newsletter, you got a kind of a preview of that. Let me switch off one of the lights so you can kind of see the metallic fun. But that was the end result of our community group color selections. What do you guys think? I think we ended up picking, so as a recap for everybody, the crazy colors that we started with were violet ink cartridge, dipped in it was a metallic. We had all sorts of fun coming up with names for the green, but it was a metallic green, even though it looks kind of gold and yellow. or orange, and then we went with white and green in the center. So all sorts of fun colors from the past couple of weeks that all of you selected. So that was a lot of fun. All right, so we'll do some quick measurements. I'll start off with, and I'll be using, let me jump into the frame. I'll be using this pen today, the automatic pen. I used one a few weeks ago for anyone who remembers. I'm gonna make the screen just a little less crazy bright, hopefully. It's still okay to see. So I'm just gonna measure out my initial circle width. So I got a question by email. Actually, somebody asking what size. Let's go with half a centimeter again. We'll just do one with a ring. What size X height do I usually use? And then what ascender and descender height do I usually use? Let's measure one more just for fun. And the answer is I usually use an X height of around 5 times the pen width. That's kind of become my favorite sizing. So if anyone's curious, and then the ascender and descender, as you've probably seen, tends to vary just dramatically based on the design that we're working on each week. Oh, cool! I see Aaron saying and Megan saying that you both got one of these pencils, and that, I see Natalia saying my quilting rulers are dedicated to calligraphy now. Oh, that's awesome! Wow, it sounds like I need to. It sounds like I need to find a cool quilting ruler. Quilting supplies have crossed over. That's really interesting. I am not into quilting at all. It's not a hobby I've ever tried, but that's pretty cool. That some of the tools overlap. I mean, when I found this pencil, it really was a game changer for me because it let me draw like guidelines on dark paper. I'm just gonna skip that middle one for now. So let me draw guidelines on dark paper. I used to try using pencils and stuff like that, and you'd have to push so hard into the page that it would end up leaving a permanent mark that it was really hard to get rid of. So when I found out about this ruler, it was or this pencil, it was super exciting. And again, just using my handy dandy Helix circle ruler. Like we've done in previous weeks. I feel like that one ended up being a little too close. Let's give it a more. So what did you guys think of the 2-week project that we worked on the past couple of weeks? I see Aaron saying the ruler's mind is blown. Yeah, if you haven't heard of it, it's the Helix circle ruler. I've there are links to it on my toolbox page on my website for if you're curious. But you can find it on Amazon, and some local art stores also have it. That's where I got mine. It was actually cheaper than Amazon, just to be completely honest with everybody. So yeah, this ruler has made it so much easier and so much more fun to work on these circle compositions. She's it's already buying it. Yeah, this thing, it's awesome. It is. I mean, I think I showed in the previous week, but I like them so much. This is like, you can probably hear me rumbling around. This is what I have just right next to me right now. I've got 3 of them right next to me. So yeah, to say that I enjoyed these or find them useful is an understatement for sure. Let's see, I'll draw some little guidelines. I was also thinking too about maybe in a couple weeks doing a project in Procreate. I'd be really interested to hear if anybody would want to see any like Blackletter calligraphy fun in Procreate, like some of the capital letters that I've done and shared on Instagram before. So let me know what you guys think, because we don't just have to do circles every week. I think, yeah, I think if in a couple of weeks or something like that, we could definitely do that. I thought about, my plan was for the next couple of weeks, this week and next week, because we've got the summer creative retreat happening with Peggy Dean and all that fun stuff, where I'll be going over some circle techniques. That we would stick with the circles for 2 more weeks at least. Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, it sounds like there are. Carla saying she'd like to see more fun stuff, so we can definitely give that a try. And it looks like Copper got 100% of the votes. So Copper it is, and it's exciting because I'll have to fill up a new little jar. Let me grab some more fun supplies. Alrighty. Oh, I know where I put it. It's pretty funny when you get something out so that you could be organized, and then you forgot that you get it out, or if you forget that you got it out for yourself, so you end up just being disorganized anyway. That's what just happened. I was looking for the little little stirring stick thing. And for anyone who's curious, I found out about this cool stirring technology, we'll call it, from Erin, who is in the chat today. So we owe her a thanks for that. So I'll put my little stirring stick in there. And then I just used these metallic inks like you saw earlier. This is just Liquitex. I'll zoom in. So if you can probably already tell how much of a cool kind of red copper color this is. But it's just Liquitex metallic ink. And as I've said before, usually I wouldn't drop it on top of the art that I was about to make. But you know, hey, let's live on the edge today. Let's have some fun. So there we go. Cool. Let me I'll lock the focus so it just doesn't keep going in and out, and we'll add a little bit more. This reddish copper ink is actually one of my favorite metallic colors, so I'm excited that we'll be playing around with it. Yeah, the magnetic stir, Aaron is saying the magnetic stir is amazing. Yeah, totally. So here, for anyone who hadn't seen it when I showed it a few weeks ago, here's the cool magnetic stir. And then I just can put this little plate on here, and the stir will start to rotate and shake up the ink for me. Now, you don't have to have one of these. My previous high-tech device was a toothpick. So it's okay if you have to. I've worked up until this was introduced to me by Erin. I was using a toothpick, so she brought me into the 21st century. And I see Carla saying, so true, you organize and then can't find anything. Yes, that is exactly what just happened to me. All right, and then when you're done, you can just let it, turn it off. And you've got your cool stirred ink. All right, so let's start writing. So I solemnly swear that I am up to no good in copper ink. Alrighty, so here's my just a dipping pen. It's an automatic pen. Even though it's about as manual of a pen as I've ever seen, it is still called the automatic pen. So we'll start with our eye. And just like before, when you start writing with these, it tends to be really kind of wet and juicy, and then things start to even out afterwards. All right. And then I'll be, again, relying on Carla and everybody to let me know if I misspell anything. Since I'm doing just one line, or one circle this time, we'll have fun with making like the S's that have descenders. And I really like these pens because I can tend to work with them a lot like my parallel pens. There's a little bit of a difference with them, just because obviously it's a dip pen versus a cartridge pen. Let's see. Carla's saying no spelling errors. All right, I'll try. I'll definitely try. Natalia's laughing along with me. I mean, so far I'm doing good, right? 3 letters in. ISO. So let's go super high this time too. Oh, that one's a little close, but it's okay. So yeah, see, the spacing on that one is not the greatest, but it's okay. We'll keep moving. Keep having fun. I'm gonna keep the E. Let's maybe go a little bit high this time. And come in vertically like that. I think I've been doing other E's for the other previous weeks. So I'll change it up a little this week. And I've been working on a new video, like an actual video for YouTube that should go out this week. And it's talking about how I build like a library of these quotes. So it'll kind of give some instructions on a really easy way that you can build your own library of quotes, so that like anytime you want to sit down and write something, that you always have something to write. And while I was working on it, I started thinking and realizing that sometimes just the sentence or the phrase you write actually inspires a design. Like, oh, I think someone is saying my camera might be frozen. Okay, I'm gonna adjust one thing on the camera and then hopefully get it live. Sorry for that. I had to unplug everything to film this video that I was literally just talking about. Hopefully when I plug this in, the live... Okay, I just tried swapping it, so hopefully it'll come back in a second. We'll give it a second, and if not, I'll try turning it off and on, and we'll see if that works. So Solomon. Okay, yeah, thanks for that. Hopefully I'll get the, just figures, the one time you unplug something. Using pangrams that got tired of the alphabet. So Natalia's saying you've started using pangrams, got tired. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I'm a huge fan of pangrams. I used to write them all the time. Oh boy. Solemnly. Alrighty. Yeah, pangrams are great. My favorite one, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, solemnly swear, was when the zombies arrive, quickly fax Judge Pat. That was probably my all-time favorite. Maybe with this S, since there's a Y right next to it, we'll just keep it a little bit more contained. And I'll pull back in a second so you can see the metallic stuff. I'm actually, one thing that I'm wanting to work on too for the for my little freebies pack is a pangram generator to help you build your own pangrams, which can be fun too. You just have to obviously think of a sentence that has all the letters of the alphabet. And I think usually the goal is to make it as short as possible, but you know, who's counting? Make them as long as or as short as you want. Okay. Try to keep the ease relatively consistent. So I'm going to try turning my camera off and on. And if that doesn't fix it, then I may just lost the face cam for today, but we'll see what happens. Multitasking, technical challenges, and calligraphy. You know it's a real calligraphy live stream when that's going on. Oh, cool. Natalia's saying that in Spanish there are 4 or 5 interesting pangrams that are silly. That's awesome. Yeah, it'd be if you have a favorite pangram, feel free to share it in the chat. I just mentioned my favorite one. Solemnly swear. So R. Let me see what other ones I can think of just off the top of my head. There's the classic. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Right, that's a classic. I think there was one about a sphinx and quartz as well. Maybe it was, I think it was Sphinx of Black Quartz, Judge My Vow, possibly? Alright. Feeling like my lines are starting to get a little bit straighter. I was a little bit out of practice earlier. But hey, it's okay. It's fun. You start a project, I'm a believer. I usually, even if something starts to go a little bit wrong, I usually just try to finish them and see where things go. All right, since Since I seem to have lost the face camera, let me just take that off the screen. Ah, looks like it won't. Now I'm really multitasking. Okay, now hopefully you can still see, but my frozen self is hidden again. All right, and Megan is confirming my pangram. Okay, and how am I doing on the spelling too? Despite all of the glitches this week, I feel like I don't think I've misspelled anything yet. Solemnly swear that, you know, just to be consistent, we'll do a little shorter I this time. And yeah, sometimes, at least for me, sometimes it just takes a few letters to get back into your rhythm. That's why we have fun practicing. Okay, I almost wrote, I solemnly swear that I solemnly swear, but I don't believe that that is the quote. That I am Let's see how everyone's saying. Oh, cool. I think Natalia is sharing her favorite pangrams. That's cool. I may have to write those down. Start writing pangrams in multiple languages. I'm sure there are even some cool French ones too. Sadly, I do not remember enough French to come up with a pangram. But I am and thanks for Carla's got my back on the spelling. That I am up. Okay, we're definitely getting close to me needing to elevate with the pinky again. So my infamous pinky technique where I elevate a little bit. And again, I would say stay, if you have the time, just give the ink a little bit of time to dry. That I am up. And then 2. I feel like this one's going to be close as far as the fit. No. All right. Oh, cool. And I see up above Megan's telling us about some of your favorite inks. Very cool. I see that you like fountain pen inks. Does anyone else? 2, no. Oh, maybe this one won't fit. I'll have to be very short. Let's see. Has anybody else tried out fountain pen inks? think probably my all-time favorite, just in terms of how insane the colors are the Emerald of Chivoire. Up to no. Let's try to compress it and see. That ink is, it's like a bluish green, but in the light, it reflects with a red sheen, and then it's got gold particles in it. It's pretty crazy. Oh, looks like it's gonna be just, let's see if I can squeeze in a D here. No, there's not gonna be enough room. Okay, well we'll leave it there. So I think I've mentioned it before. Usually if I was doing something as like a finished work, I would probably leave myself a little bit more space. But in this case, the whole circle didn't end up fitting. This has been a fun stream. So let's see if you guys want to see the metallic-ness. You could probably already tell. Can you see in the light how it reflects? That's why this is one of my favorites. So let's pick it up, and hopefully you can see just how bright. You probably couldn't tell how bright it is as I was just keeping it flat. It looks pretty dark, but when you hold it up to the light, it almost starts to glow. It's pretty crazy. So this is a really, really fun ink to play around with. I mean, heck, it probably would show up even, yeah, with both of these bright lights. Just gets a little bit blown out. So let's see. So let's start trying to finish this. So see, even though with something like this, a few things didn't 100% go my way. At least I am a happy accident believer. So I'm just gonna keep working on it and then see what, maybe what else I can do. Maybe this time I'll try a little flourish on the E that goes like that. Something a little bit different. Come through and add my little centers. Cool. I see. Yeah, Carla's saying super shiny, and and Megan and Aaron. Yeah, these metallic inks I found work pretty well, and they're super shiny. So yeah, if like I was saying a second ago, sometimes even if things don't go 100% well, I always just take it as a chance to play around. So maybe we'll have some fun and try some different design ideas with this one. And what I was mentioning earlier too about the quotes, like when I kind of picked this one out as a potential quote to use today, I thought, well, if we go with this Harry Potter quote, then man, it'd be really fun to try adding some maybe magical elements to the design, like make it look like it's a spell somehow, maybe lightning bolts or like that magical dust effect that you see in magic spells sometimes. So the like sometimes what you write can actually influence what you make. Like if you're writing something inspirational, maybe it'll end up being very flowy and beautiful. If you're writing something maybe a little bit more action oriented or something like that, it'll come out more angular. At least that's how things tend to happen with me sometimes. What do you think? Do you feel the same way? Do the actual words and sentences your lettering impact your practice? I'd be very curious. All right, now I see Carl is asking what brand of fountain pens are good to use. Wow, there are so many. There are so many. I'm gonna try to think. I think Lamy Safaris were in the range of being fairly cost effective. I honestly don't recall. It's been so long since I bought a fountain pen. But Lamy, Lamy, and then Safari. It's like going on safari. Those are cool fountain pens. And they tend to be very colorful, and they come out. I think every year they have like a color of the year that ends up becoming a potential collectible or something like that. So I would check out the Lamy Safaris. Pilot also makes a bunch of makes fountain pens, and I believe they have it's called the Metropolitan or something like that. I think that one may also be in the kind of affordable starter range. But there are so many fountain pens, and they can end up having really like beautiful and unique looks and characteristics. And then the inks obviously are another thing that you can vary too. And there are so many inks. I mean, I'll grab some at the end if anybody's curious. Some of the ones that I have next to me, but Pilot makes some great inks too. See Megan saying the Twisby Echo. I think looks like Megan is is now a resident fountain pen expert. All right, how cool! I didn't know that we had someone else here that I could geek out with about fountain pens. Has anyone else tried fountain pens? So right now I'm just adding some fun flourishing elements on the inside. Okay, now we'll do some crossbar fun. Let's start back here maybe. Oh, and on this tee, I've got lots of room. And now we're coming around the tee. Let's see, and I see Natalia, I wonder if assigning a width to each letter and some extra for spacing would give a fair idea of the circle size needed. I can even tell Excel to do that for me. You actually, that is the technique that I use. That is the technique behind my calculations, is kind of assigning a basic width to each character. I won't, so to not bore everyone with endless amounts of math. But yeah, you can absolutely do that. And that's the technique that I use. It just, if you end up varying some of the character widths a little bit, it can throw off the spacing a bit. But the more you kind of practice it and use the tool, the better that you'll get at being able to predict the circle sizes. And I actually have a very large spreadsheet with all of my quotes and stuff like that in there that I use to do a lot of these calculations. So I've gone over it. Some of them like kind of a little bit more detail about the method in workshops, but sometimes the math is a little too heavy or too boring for a lot of folks. But yeah, let me know if you're curious to learn more. But it's a brilliant idea, Natalia. That's exactly how I ended up doing it, and you absolutely can do that. for sure. And I see Megan saying, I was told by the owner of fountain pen, store owner, she stopped trying to find the perfect pen nib combo and instead believes that different pens have different purposes. I would believe that too, to be honest. I think every pen writes a little bit different, like especially if you get into, let's see, yeah, so I'll swear them. Especially if you get into vintage pens, which I did start to get into down the line. Then each one of those tends to have its own character and like the nibs flex a little bit differently. I got into them because I love flex pens. You would think I would do more pointed pen work since I love that, but I just absolutely fell in love with broad nib or broad edge pens, so I discovered them. So right now I'm just giving the tip a quick clean. I felt like it was starting to get a little bit full of ink. So for anybody that's curious, just my little container of water. It's very similar to the parallel pens, just you can like wash these out a little bit more thoroughly. And then I'll just kind of wipe off the tip. And then I'll often just give the tip a little bit of a fold and just run it through the center to get a little bit of the excess ink out. And then to totally finish the job, I will still use my handy dandy Pilot Parallel Cleaner. That'll kind of help me get, you can probably tell maybe a little. You see there how there was still some ink on the slip, so that little slip got out what was left. And then you can even just wipe the slip clean if you need to. Cool. So now we've got, I'm gonna call this close. See, Natalia thinks she'd love to learn more. Sure, maybe during one of these in the future, I can explain a little bit more of that technique. Call it like calligraphy math calligometry. Could that be a name? Caligulus, like calligraphy calculus. Oh man, inventing words is too much fun. Okay, so we've created this snazzy design so far, and I'll turn the light off so everybody can see it. So this is kind of how it looks right now. You can see that metallic ink is really fun. I really do love this color. So what does everyone think in terms of outline colors for this? Calligraphy math. I like it. And I see Yogi saying, I usually write the quote with a pen and style lettering I'll use. Measure it, do a radius calculation, 2 pi r squared to get the length of the radius for the baseline circle. Yeah, that's this is awesome. We have some fellow math friends here. This is really cool. So yeah, like I can give a super fast idea of like how I did this. I was about to write on this. I probably shouldn't, but let's see. Let's try to do this really quick, just so that we can talk a little bit about outlines. And Megan saying, talking about Goulet pens. Goulet pens is a fantastic resource for fountain pens. Maybe we'll do a little bit of I can do a quick show and tell at the end, and then we can talk outlines. So I'm just gonna draw. You can see I still have from a workshop I did at Legacies. There's what's left of me explaining the circle sizing on the sheet. I used this. So what you can do very quickly is if like for a letter like N or O or P or B, I almost spelled the word nope. That was funny. So most of these, like if you use the guide sheets that I provided in the style that are in my freebie, the treasure trove, that pack, then all of these tend to have the same width, right? So everyone, and then like a letter like M just tends to be a little bit wider. Like maybe if I give this a unit of 1, the M maybe is around 1.5. or something like that. Does that make sense? So you can come up with measurements for the entire alphabet like that. And then what like kind of the start of my system was I took one circle, right? And I measured, oh, that's a terrible circle. This is why you need a helix circle ruler, right? To draw better circles. So the center of this circle is closer to there as opposed to my terrible initial one. All right, so circle here. And then I just wrote out a bunch of words that used these single unit letters, okay? And figured out how many letters I could fit into a circle of this radius. We'll call this radius X. Now we're getting into math. So if I knew that I could fit, say, like 10 letters into this radius of X, let's call that radius 5. Then if I wanted to fit 20 letters, I would just need to double this. So it became 10. So I just need a radius of 10 instead of 5 for 20 letters. And then just based on this kind of unit measurement and your own estimates of or your own experience with writing how much fits into a circle, you can do some just simple ratios like that. I think kind of like cooking might be an analogy. If you need like 2 cups of something for one recipe and you need to make it for 4 people, but then you need to double it for 8 people, you would just double that proportion. So it works very similarly. So if I needed to fit 30 letters into a circle, then I would just triple this. So 5 times 3 would be 15. So I would need a 15 centimeter radius. Okay, so sorry for anyone who doesn't like math. I'll stop with the math now, but hopefully that made sense a little bit. All right. And then let's see, I can even show. So for, here's a couple of the like vintage fountain pens that I have. This is one of them. So these are definitely, they're like precious things that I was able to snag along the way. And then this, for anyone who's curious, so this is another, just a smaller vintage fountain pen. And then this, if anyone is curious, this is I think it's like kind of billed as a modern flex fountain pen. It's the Pilot Falcon, or the Namiki Falcon. Let's make things a little bit brighter. So it's got a nib that looks like this, and it flexes a little bit. It definitely does not flex as much as the vintage pens do. But they can be a lot of fun to use too. So yes, those are fun. I see Larry saying Aggie math. Yes. Ironically, I went to A&M. I am an official Aggie. I see Lance saying it did make sense. Good. I'm glad. I'm really glad. I'm really glad that helped. So hopefully, yeah, you can run your own experiments and then see what you can fit into one size. And then, like I've said before, if I really, really, really want to fit something and make sure it fits, I might measure. Like for this, I measured that I would need a circle radius of 5.5 centimeters. So that's what I measured out at the beginning, was a radius of 5.5. So if I decided that I really wanted to make sure that the letters would fit, I would make the circle just a little bit bigger, right? Maybe 6 centimeters or 5.75 or 5.7, 5.8. And that way, I would be fairly confident that it would fit without having to, like, I just got, when I started doing these circle designs, I wanted to find a way that I wouldn't have to write the same thing like 12 times, which is how I used to do it. Just write it once, it didn't fit, it was too small. Write it once, didn't fit, I made it way too big. So you end up writing the same thing 4 or 5 times, whereas this would help give me a starting place at least. Yeah, and Megan is saying you can flex on the nib. I'm not sure what the official guidance is, but you can, if you can tell, it's probably, let's pray to God that I don't break my pen here. So yeah, you can, if you can tell, it does flex a little bit. But let's see, but certainly not as much as the like the tradition or the vintage ones. That's the word I was hunting for. All right. So does anyone have any thoughts on outline colors? Let me think. Harry Potter. So I could go, I've got these like neon these neon paint pens. Let's see. What kind of a color? And maybe a yellow one. I've also got kind of a pink metallic pen. Maybe, what about blue and orange? That tends to go like magic spells. What do you think about, I see Carla saying yellow, silver, blue. Yeah, I was kind of starting to think about that too. So blue maybe. And I do have a silver and a gold. So maybe blue, gold, silver, yellow. Okay. Does anyone else have any thoughts? We're getting close to the end today, so this may have to be a surprise for future weeks. Megan is asking if I've tried one of the Noodler's Flex pens. I have tried them, and it didn't work great for me. I didn't get very good ink flow, and what else? I didn't get very good ink flow, and then it just wasn't as flexible. Those tend to be fairly cost effective. Oh, I see. So I'm seeing, it looks like so far blue is the winner, but I saw Aaron come in with green. Okay. Well, I believe those, so I'll probably work, let's see, blue, silver, orange. We'll see where this goes. I'm going to just have fun with this one since the quote didn't fit and the lettering, my lettering wasn't, I struggled with it a little bit at the beginning. We'll just have fun with this one. And then it can be a fun experiment piece. And you never know. Sometimes you get great results. I see Yogi saying blue too. Okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan of like the teal and orange or blue-orange contrast look. I really like that. I think it might go well with this magic theme. Let's do, since there are so many blues, let's just do a quick, let's put this under my hand. Let's do a quick test to see how the blue might look on this paper. I wonder if it's going to be bright or dark. I do have another blue over there. So let's start. I'm going to start in this corner since I'm just kind of testing the color. Okay, that's actually brighter. It's brighter than I was expecting it would be. So this could be cool. It could end up being very magic-like. So let's turn it off, and then maybe you'll be able to see the light off, and then you may be able to see everything reflecting. All right. So we're getting close to the end today. I'm super happy that everybody joined in this week. Thank you so much for coming and stopping by. Because my other camera's dead, I won't be switching to my face view with the chat, but I still see the chat. And this video I probably won't leave up on the channel just because there were so many tech issues along the way today. But next week I will have everything plugged back in. And I appreciate everybody's patience. I really do appreciate if you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And there is a link for tips in the description if anybody would like to leave a tip. Those really do go a long way, and I sincerely appreciate those too. I see Aaron saying, ooh, fun content. Thank you. Thank you for coming, Aaron. I really appreciate it. And again, please definitely check out Aaron's content. She is absolutely awesome. Thank you, Natalia, for stopping by. We had all sorts of fun. And Megan, thank you for all of we had all sorts of fun fountain pen talk and math talk today. We really went outside the box. But thank you, Leanne. I appreciate it. And Yogi, too. Thank you so much. And Carla, everybody. And Larry. I saw Larry here. And Leanne. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope you all have a fantastic evening. And I will see you next time with my face again. Hopefully. Please take care, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.